Nice to see you all. Just a quick show of hands. Who's here this morning? Just okay. Anybody not here? Okay. Second one. Who's a salesperson? If you can just put your hands up. Okay. Who's not a salesperson? Can you just put your hands up? Okay. One. No. Put your hands up if you're not a salesperson. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Good. Who's other people who put your hands up? Put your hands. If you're not a salesperson, leave your hand up. Okay. Are you in business? Then if you're not in business, you can put your hand down. Otherwise, keep your hand up. Okay. So you are in business. Okay. Good. So you're a salesperson. Okay. So you can put your hands down again. So last question. Who absolutely loves selling? Put your hands up and leave them up. Absolutely loves selling. Put your hand up. Okay, so let's ask another one. Who sort of I sort of put up with selling. It's like it's okay. I sort of have to do it. So put your hand up. Okay, who absolutely hates selling? The idea of selling to anybody is just like it's disgusting. I don't want to do it. If Robin, if you put your hand up, you're dead. Okay, John Guy. Okay, cool. All right, so today, by the time you're finished, you're going to love selling. Selling is really not difficult. So today I'm going to teach you how to sell secrets. Who would like to sell secrets? The Gupta family would be very interested to speak to you if you can sell secrets. Probably would have a few things to say. So, what is selling? So a couple of you were here last year when I ran through the whole thing. So I've taken a couple of slides out of that. This is my definition of selling. And I want you to memorize this. You will get the slides. Tyrone's also filming this. Thank you, Tyrone. So you can get the video as well if you want. Helping your client to make a decision to buy something they already want or need from you. Okay, so that's what sales is. Helping. First word, helping. Assisting. Not forcing. This is not... Am I allowed to say JT Fox? I'm probably not allowed to say that on video. It's not one of those things where you're going to whip up a whole bunch of stuff and get people to just like, okay, I've got to do it, and then go home and go, what did I do? Right? It's not that. It's helping somebody to make a decision. Who likes to make decisions? See your hands? Got a lot of you. Oh, that's cool. Most people don't like to make decisions. They find it very hard. And sometimes they need more information, or well, I can do this or this, and so eventually you can't make decisions. By the way, if you give your client too many choices, they often don't make the decision because it's just too many choices. So it's better to say, do you want the pink one or the green one, right? To make a decision to buy something you're selling that they already want from you, not from somebody else. This is another one of the problems, is a lot of people get into this consultative sales. Right? Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to educate people on sales and educate you exactly why you need the latest whatever it is. And you do that and they go, this is absolutely fantastic, it's great. And then they finish and they go, thank you very much for all the information. Like, I'm really, really interested. And then they go home and then they look on the internet and they find something a little bit cheaper somewhere else and they buy it there. Or they look and they find another service from somebody else somewhere else and they buy that there. Right? So, how's it, Chase? Welcome. So you want them to buy from you, not somebody else. Does it make sense? Because otherwise, I mean, who's done that? Who's like got somebody, they're like, you've convinced them and all the rest of it. Next thing you know, they bought from one of your competitors. Anybody ever had that happen to them? Yeah, okay. Greg, has somebody ever done that to you? I thought you'd like close every sale, man.
Unfortunately.
Sure, okay. So that's what it was.
30 years.
So?
Only happened once.
Only happened once, yeah.
I think it was someone in this room.
Okay, we're flying low under the radar here, for sure. Kiyosaki says this, change your focus from making money, because that's what most people think. Sales, I've got to get somebody to do something that I want them to do, not what they want to do. That's what most people think sales is. From making money to serving more people. The more you serve other people, more money comes in. And it's really easy. And when you really genuinely make that switch in your head, you will make more money. Now, are there some tricks and traps and things that you need to do? Yes. So let's go back to basics. Let's start with this. So, first thing is, I just want to increase my volume, my brightness here so I can see this. You've got to know these three things. And it's amazing to me. People who are professional salespeople, because we're all salespeople, right? Everybody in your company is a salesperson. From the person who makes tea, for the people coming into your boardroom, to the MD. Every single person is a salesperson. They're doing something there in order to look after that client, right? In order to assist the client. You've got to know these things. But if you're a professional, say, if you're in front of your customers trying to bring the business in, you first of all have to know your clients. You also have to know your product backwards. And you have to know your competition backwards. I see people miss that out all the time. I find people know their product first. They know everything about their product. They know very little about their client. And they have no clue about the competition other than they hate them. Okay? You are not at war with your competition. They're a rival. There's no good bashing your competition. Doesn't help you. You're a rival. You've got to be better than your competition. So let's have a look at these three things in reverse. Your competition. Some of you have seen that slide before. You must leverage your competition. This thing is like, I'm losing part of the screen, but anyway, it doesn't matter. You get it. Hopefully it doesn't cut out stuff. That one's perfect. Okay, this one isn't. Okay, well, it's a projector setup. So look at this screen more than that one if you're losing something on the screen. So when I say leverage your competition, it's a whole talk. I'm not going to do it today. But one of the key things I want you to do with your competition is understand them so well that you can actually get stuff from them. Let me give you an example. Your competition, let's say I'm primarily in tech, so let's just say you're in the software game. It really doesn't matter what you're in. Go and find one of the biggest companies in the world who do exactly what you do, but a heck of a lot better than you. Okay, go to their website. There's all your keywords. There's all your search terms. There's all your arguments. There's all the white papers, right? Your marketing job is done. 60-70% of your marketing job is finished. Go and have a look at 2 or 3 sites. Remember, if you steal from one person, it's called plagiarism. And if you steal from 4 or 5 people, it's called? Research. Market research is exactly correct, yeah. It's true. So are you doing that? When your marketing person goes, what's your marketing message? You go, well, I don't know, okay, let's have a 15-day brainstorm. Why not just go, okay, here are my 4 websites, my 4 competitors' websites. Please go on there and pull out all the key things. Get hold of a guy like Dave Nielsen, who's normally in the boards. He's got a family issue today. One of the guys sent his apologies and say, go and search their websites and understand what the problems are, okay, and what their issues are and what their keywords are. All right, so leverage your competition. What are they doing? What are their strategies? Why have they got strategies like that? One of the things we used to do with startup companies is say, before you start your company, look at 10 people who've been successful or unsuccessful. Why have they been successful? List the reasons. Why were they unsuccessful? Don't do that. Leverage your competition. It makes sense. Incidentally, if you don't understand your competition, you cannot form your own unique selling proposition. Yes? Steve Jobs. People who know what they're talking about don't need PowerPoint. So, at this point in time, we're going to stop that. And so I think that's fantastic. The other thing is Jobs always used to use PowerPoint. Actually, he didn't. He used to use Keynote. Oh, okay. But here's the point. Your product is your passion. Okay? So when you're doing it, you've got to know all about your product. Your product has to be your passion. You've got to love your product. If you don't love your product, what happens? Can you sell? If you don't believe in your product, have you ever had somebody try to sell to you, or you're talking to somebody and they just really don't believe in what they're doing? Have you ever seen that? And their body language is like this, and their eyes, and they don't connect with you, and they're looking around, and they're blah, 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 and they know, you know they're selling you rubbish. Do you buy? You don't. Have you ever been in front of somebody who's so absolutely passionate and convinced about their product? Right? And then that you just have to buy. Yes, you're here today. That answers that one. Because when you met me, I was absolutely passionate about my product, which is this. And you're here today, so you buy. Actually, your passion is your product. Your passion is at your product. When you walk in, your passion is what sells people. Does it make sense? There's a great book called How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Sales by a guy called Frank Bettker. How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Sales. It was written back in the 50s or something like that, right? And his first chapter is enthusiasm. He said what absolutely changed. He was a professional salesman who was just useless at sales, just couldn't sell. He went from one company to another company, one product to another product, one industry to another industry, couldn't sell. And then eventually he was, I think it was Napoleon Hill, and he realized that what he needed to be was enthusiastic. And he said all he did was change his enthusiasm level. So he went in, he was selling insurance, I think, at the time. And he went in and he acted enthusiastic, like over the top. Nice to meet you. Yeah, oh, so good to see you. Yes, excellent. Well, listen, I've got this fantastic product. And he thought he was being an absolute bleep. You insert the word. And the guy went and bought from him. And he was like, huh? He was like, good grief. So he did it again and again and again. What comes first? Excitement or enthusiasm? You know, your feelings, your emotions, or the enthusiasm? Which one comes first? The enthusiasm. How do you get enthusiastic?
Be excited.
You be excited. There's a great guy called Bob, forget his name. Anyway, Bob. And he said if you want to be enthusiastic, you have to act enthusiastic. Right? I want you to, quick exercise for all of you. I just want you to look at me. Don't look at your things. I want you to all just slouch a little bit. Like some of you are already, just like this. Slouch, you know, lose a little bit of, you know, sit back a little bit, maybe move your bum, just like this. Okay? How's your energy levels? So I want you to change. I want you to sit absolutely upright. I want you to look, put a smile on your face. Okay? Lean forward a little bit. Can you feel the whole energy in the room is just picked up? Okay? So if you want to receive more, you've got to act like that. Does that make sense? In sales, if you want to be enthusiastic, you need to act enthusiastic. If you're not enthusiastic before you go and see your customer, better you get enthusiastic in the motor car. Put some music on. Look at yourself in the mirror and go, I'm so great, man. Oh, it sounds ridiculous. It sounds so corny. But you've got to get your energy levels up. When you're sitting in front of a client, if you're sitting there like this, they're going to be like that. They're going to mirror you. So you're actually responsible. Your passion is your product. Your client, you've got to know your client. Who is your client? So, first thing, you've got to clearly define your client. And again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. We could spend a whole 50 minutes just on this. And Greg covered a whole bunch of this, was it last month? Yeah, it was, last month. So if you haven't got that, go back, go and get that PowerPoint, go and have a look at it. Greg knows what he's talking about, but he just uses PowerPoint anyway. It's okay. Go and get that thing and understand it. Know your client, know everything about your client. Once they become an actual customer of yours, not just a prospect, when's their birthday, what things do they like to do, where do they like to go, how do they like to be talked to, right? You've got to know everything about them, right? They're your client. One, define your client. Second thing, they're asking this question in their head all the time. Why should I buy from you and not your competition? Why? What have you got? Even if they like you and they know you and they bought from you before, they're still going, why must I buy from you? Why must I buy from you? I like what you've got. Remember, sales is helping somebody to make a, let's just try that again. Helping somebody to make a, to buy something they already want from you. Why should I choose you instead of your competition? So I really like you. Thank you for helping me make the decision, but why should I buy from you? So you've got to work out your unique selling proposition. And this is one of the things that Greg went through a lot better than I did, so I'm not going to go through it. What I'm going to just touch on is this, and you can have a look at the slide. I'm going to go back over here. What your competitor does well and what the customer wants, you're in trouble. What you do well and what your customer wants you do well. So what you've got to do is have a look at that, the winning zone. Clear point of difference that meets a need, make it bigger. The losing zone, your competitor meets the consumer's needs better than you do. You've lost. The bit in between, competitive battleground, use emotion, innovative, superior execution, blah, blah, blah. So, for example, price. Can you both compete on price? Yes, it's risky. Unless you can absolutely disrupt the market. What's disrupt the market? At least 50% lower than your competitor. 50%. 10%, I'm not going to buy from you. Doesn't make any difference. 10% I can get it here and get it there. And I'm thinking, well, I prefer this guy. I like this person. I like their product better. I think 10% is not worth anything. 20%? Probably not. 30%? I'm thinking about it. By 50%, I'm like, I'm gone. So if you want to disrupt the market on price, 40, 50% off. Just understand if you're coming 40, 50% off, maybe you don't have a business because there's a reason why other people are 40, 50% higher than you, if that's the market rate. unless you've got something which is different. Your tech is different, your way of working on something is different. Maybe it's not your core business, you're doing that to get people in the door so that you can sell something else. It's risky, okay? But you can do it, it's risky. You've really got to work out what you do better than anybody else. If you don't know your product, if you don't know your client, and you don't know your competition, how are you going to do that? Basics 101. Some of you haven't got that right. In fact, I'd probably say most of you haven't got that right. First exercise for you to do. Maybe one of the things you can do in your board when you break out there is just look at those 3 things and go and rate yourself. Maybe you should just do that on a piece of paper quickly. Your client, your product, your competition. 10 means I know them backwards. Absolutely, you can wake me up 4 o'clock in the morning, put me under water, and I'll start speaking Chinese and tell you exactly what they want. 1 means I haven't got a clue. I don't even know who my competitors are. I actually don't have competition. One of the biggest mistakes I find people go, and they go, who's your competition? They go, well, I don't really have competition. Right. Key thing, people buy from people. People buy from people. Your personal brand, I'm not going to get into personal branding today. People buy from people. What are they looking at? There are 3 golden rules. People do not buy products. They do not buy services. They buy people. Seth Godin says they buy stories, they buy magic. There's a whole bunch of things, but they actually, in the end, people are buying from you. 3 golden things. People want to buy, they do not want to be sold. Do you like to be sold? Think about walking into who likes to buy clothes? Who doesn't like to buy clothes? Okay, because I'm going to, if you don't put your hand, I'm going to be lying. Okay, everybody likes to buy clothes or nice things or whatever you like. Whatever you enjoy doing it. Imagine going into a clothes shop. You're going to buy a suit, let's say, and you walk in, and so is it nice to have somebody walk up and say, "Can I help you?" Yeah, that's nice. So, but sometimes you don't want them to help you just yet. You go, "No, I'm just looking, thank you." So that's nice. Now, when you say, "I'm just looking, thank you," what do you want them to do? Back off. Right? Give me some space, man. I just want to check this out, and right. But what happens if they're not? They're like, "Yeah, no, that's good. No, you should have a look at this. No, wait, you try this suit on, and what do you want to do? Yeah, you just want to get out the shop. No, try this jacket on. That looks great on you. No, the sleeves are too long. No, we can fix it. No. I don't like the lapels. The lapels like they're too wide. And no, that's a fashion. No, it looks really good on you, man. What you actually want to say is, look, I don't like you. I don't like your shop. I don't like anything about this. But you have an excuse about the lapels. When your customer says to you, "I don't like XYZ about your product," half the time they're telling you they don't like you, or your sales process, or the way you're doing it. People want to buy. What do people do nowadays? What did you do when you bought your last, phone, or the last thing? Did you research it first? Yeah. You go on the internet, go and have a look at it. Go and check prices out maybe. You want to buy the next, whatever you bought, shocks or something, a little speaker for home or TV or something. You've already looked at it. By the time you walk into the shop, you've already made the decision. This is probably what I want. Maybe there's a couple of them. I'll go into a shop and I'll ask the guy, I'll see what stock they got. I want to see what prices there are. And I might want some sort of last minute info, right? Isn't that what you're doing? What do you think your competitors are doing? What do you think your customers are doing with you? They're already bought in some things. Remember, sales is helping somebody make a decision to buy something they already want from you. Okay? If you sell them, people are more and more resistant to being sold. And then if you do manage to sell them just because you're a seriously good salesperson, what are they going to do afterwards? Buyer's blues. I'm going to take it back to the shop. Right? Or I didn't really want to do that. I'm actually not going to pay for it. I'm actually not going to pitch. I'm going to cancel my order. Right? You pushed me into it, but yeah. So are there good closing techniques? Is urgency important? Yes. Is limited offers important? Yes. There's loads and loads of closing techniques. I'm not going through any of those things today at all. And all that. So should you employ those things? Yes, because you need to help people make a decision. Some people don't want to make a decision. So you want to help them to do that, but don't sell them. Second thing, I buy on emotion. I still buy on emotion. Relationships. People buy on emotion. People don't do things because of logic. If they did, men would ride side saddle and women wouldn't. You guys are still thinking about that, aren't you? Okay. People don't do things on logic, they do things on emotion. All right? Sales, particularly, they do on emotion. It's more about, do they like you? Do they like your company? Do they think you're going to be good for them? Do they think you're going to help them? Yes or no? So they buy an emotion. Do they buy? They justify with logic, right? You get in that new car and you go home and you say, "Baby, you see, I bought the new 7 Series BM. It's for the family." Well, it is, because there's airbags. There's 7 airbags just in the dashboard alone. I mean, we can put the cat and the dog in here, and like even they'll be protected. And then like there's these steel bars on the outside, and there's this fuel efficiency is amazing. We're going to just imagine for a 5-liter motor car how much fuel we're going to save, right? All the logic, all the reasons why you buy the car. Why did you buy the car? Because you think you look great in it. Listen to me and speak my language. Probably the most important thing out of all of them. Listen to me. Okay? Listen to me. You've got 2 ears, 1 mouth. Use them in that. In fact, I'd like to say you've got 2 ears and like just 1 tooth. Just try and like imagine you've only got like a tiny mouth. All right? Secret to a great conversationalist is what? The ability to listen. And the ability to listen is based on what? Ability to ask the right questions. Okay? It's all about questions and then listening and then writing it down. So listen, and then when you speak, speak their language. Stay away from 3-letter acronyms, TLAs, unless they know what those 3-letter acronyms are. Right? The IT industry is terrible for doing that. Always using this, well, we've got a BMI connected to an ASP over the hub with a BUS on the, what are you talking about? Okay? Speak their language. And talk in terms that they want to hear, not just their language, but the things they want to hear, what their problems are. I'm going to talk on that in a little bit more. Golden rules, 3 golden rules. I want to buy, I don't want to be sold. Let them buy, and then ask them questions and let them talk themselves into it. Buy an emotion, connect first, listen to me and speak my language. These are your basics, one-on-one. Remember, there's a perspective, and they have a different perspective than you. I love that. And, right? What do they want? Okay? What are they looking for? What you got to do is you got to tell them. So you're looking for a boat. They're looking for land. What you got to be doing is you got to be going, land over here. Right? Because that's what they're buying. We sell software in the logistics industry. These guys over here. We can talk about features and functions and databases and functionality and speed and disaster recovery and I don't know. What do they want? They want more accurate billing. They want less headaches at night. They want something to run more smoothly. They want to make more money. Does that make sense? They don't want any of the stuff we're selling. They have no interest. They only want it because they think if I take that thing and put it into my company, I'm going to whatever their need is. So you speak whatever their language is, not your language. Make sense? You still here? Okay. So famous 5. So I love this. Who used to read the famous 5? Some of you. Sure. I was going to say, I thought I would be the only person. Maybe 1 or 2 other people in the room might have read it. But anyway. So the famous 5. So this is top secret. So the whole thing about sales is there's secrets. There's sales secrets. You hear all these people saying sales secrets and everything. So really, this is not secret. Now, I'm going to teach you a technique now. So the basics, I covered the basics. Again, we could have spent ages. We could have spent a session on every single one of those points. But you get it, okay? Hopefully you get it. I want to show you a technique now that whether you're a 5-minute salesperson, in other words, you make your sale within 5 minutes or half an hour or an hour on one presentation, or whether it takes you 18 months to close a sale, doesn't make any difference. You're going to follow these 5 steps. And I want you to follow these 5 steps in every time you connect with a customer. From a cold call, or a warm call preferably, right through to a presentation, to meetings, to closing the sale, and the whole lot. And we're going to cover all 5 of them. Is that okay? while we're doing this, and one of the exercises I think you can do in your board, you can take any of those things that I've covered today and go, where am I really not doing well? Because you have to do well on all those things that I've touched on, right? And talk about that with your board and ask other people to give some input as to how they've done it or how they've been successful. Or you can take these ones and you can maybe say, all right, here's some ideas on how I can do step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in a typical scenario that I'm sitting with, and ask your board to help you. That's a great way of doing it because you're all going to learn from each other, which is the whole purpose of the boards. Make sense? Yes. Who would like to be the guy on the end of the string? Hectic, eh? So, what is this guy hoping this guy has? Rope. Yeah, he's on a rope. Huh? Enough rope. He's hoping he's got the skill, right? Do you think this guy trusts this guy? Yeah. Absolutely. Right? So the first point, trust and credibility. You have to create trust and credibility. Trust and credibility. Do you think this guy thinks the chap at the top is credible? Yes. Do you think you trust him? Yes. Okay, otherwise he wouldn't be dangling there. So, the first thing your customer is going to ask is, why are you in my room? Why should I trust you? And why should I buy from you? Why should I even listen to you? That's what's going on in their head. Think about you and somebody's going to come and sell you something. You're running a company or you're doing something and somebody now wants to sell their service to you. Would you like a web page? I'm going to do a web page for you. And your first thing you're going is, okay, I do need a web page. I know that because I like to buy, not be sold. And I need somebody to help me to make a decision to buy something I already want. But why should it be from you? Right? Do you have trust? Do you have credibility? It's the first thing. What about when you first phone somebody and you make a phone call and you've never spoken before and you're doing a cold call? What's going through your head? Who gets sort of at least one call a week or one call a day from somebody wanting to sell you something, some insurance company or something? Yes? How do you know it's a cold call? True caller, okay. You're spam. Yeah, okay. You've got to be careful because my bank comes up as spam all the time. It's like my bank manager. I'm like, oh, okay. You have to be a little bit careful of that thing. But there's like an unknown number, or there's just a cell phone number pops up, right? Because now they're getting clever with these things, so they like rotate the numbers. And so the person's now on the phone call. What's the first thing they do? Get your name wrong, yeah. Mr. Rowley. Right? And they go, hi, Kurt, how are you? And you're like, who the heck are you? Right? What do you want? The moment they go, hi, Kurt, how are you? I'm going, two things. Do I know this person? They haven't introduced themselves. They don't go, hi, Tony, it's John. How you doing? John who? John Stensland. Remember we met? Oh, yeah, John. Hey, how you doing? Okay? They just go, hi, how are you? How are you doing today? And I'm like, my back is already like up. I'm already going, oh, okay. Better take the call. Don't know, this might be, yes, can I help you? Yeah, good. Is now a convenient time to talk? And I'm like, how about, hi, Tony, you don't know me. I'm John. I'm from XYZ company. We sell websites. How's it, Naveen? We sell websites. Would you be interested? Are you in the market to buy a website right now? What's your answer going to be? Yes or no? If you genuinely are interested in a website and you're actually looking for a company to buy a website, would you maybe entertain the call? Maybe, right? If you aren't in the market to buy a website, you have no interest, I've got a permanent web developer sitting here, we just redone our website, what are you going to say? No. If you are in the interest to buy a website, the fact that the person divulges it up front and saying, I'm here to sell you a website, does it increase or decrease your trust in that person? It increases them. Instead of 1,001 clever things and listening to a 15-minute script which the person is going to go, hi, Tony, well, we are a company that supplies this, and on the thing, did you know that 15% of the company, and in the marketplace we are, oh, Lord help me, right? So are you doing that in your cold calls? What are you doing? What are your cold calls? Have you got a clever script, or are you just telling people what you do? Okay? If they're interested, they're going to go, sure, let me talk to you. If they're not interested, they're going to put the phone down. You're not going to convince them in 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds on the phone to buy something from you just because you speak real quick and you've got a really clever piece of thing. They're either keen or they're not keen. Does it make sense? Trust and credibility. I meet you for the first time. I now have an appointment and I'm coming through to see Greg. I'm picking on you just because you're at the front here. And you have picked on him a couple of times. Okay, I won't pick on. I'll pick on Greg. Okay, and the camera's right. The camera's right there as well. Can you see Greg? Greg, just see Greg. There's Greg. Hi, Greg. Greg. So, and I come and we've got a meeting for the first time. So I sit here and I sit in front of Greg. What's he asking? Trust, credibility. Who are you? If I cannot connect with Greg, the rest of the sales process is gone. No point in continuing. It's a red light, green light thing. So he's going to know trust and credibility. So what's the quickest way of building trust and credibility with Greg? Thoughts?
Find common ground, common interests.
Find common interests. Great technique. That's a great way of doing it. You walk into somebody's office and you see there's some golfing things up there and you go, oh, you play golf? No, I just like the picture. Okay, moving on. Right? Or there's a picture of him with Gary Player or something. Oh, you play golf? No, I was just at a drinks thing with Gary once, and so I had the photograph taken. Everyone, okay, moving on. Or, yeah, no, I love golf. Oh, excellent. Where do you play? If you also play. If you don't play golf, don't go there because it's not common ground. Don't lie. They'll pick it up. Does it make sense? Have a look for something that you connect with. Oh, look, I see you got this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie. How are you finding it? Good book, if you've read it. If you haven't read it, don't go there. Does it make sense? Do something where you connect. Pay a genuine compliment. That's good. A lot of people do that. A lot of salespeople do that. How else do I build trust and credibility?
Name reference.
Name reference. So you should, by the way, never cold call. You should always warm call. How do you do that? Everybody you know, you ask them for 3 names or 5 names or 10 names of people who they think might want your product and service. And then you phone them and you go, hi, Greg. This is Tony. I'm from such and such a company. I got your number from Steve Rowlands, a mutual friend, Steve Rowlands. You know Steve, right? Yeah, I know Steve. Excellent. Listen, my company sells X, Y, and Z. Steve said you may be interested in that. Is that the case, or are you on the market? Are you looking for those services at the moment? No, we're not at the moment. Okay, great. Thank you very much. It was nice talking to you. Or, excellent. Fantastic. This is what we're doing with Steve. Would it be possible if I come through and spend 15 minutes with you? I learned this from John Sherry. 15 minutes. I want 15 minutes with you. Why? Everyone's got 15 minutes. Okay, I need an hour of your time. Everybody has an appointment. I don't know why all appointments are an hour. Have you noticed that? It's like, I need to come and see you. Okay, it's an hour. Why? How about 15 minutes? If you're a salesperson, can I get into somebody's diary with an hour? Oh, okay, let me just look. Well, Wednesday's out, Thursday. Look, I could fit you in there, but I need some white space. Some other. Okay, listen, in August the 23rd. How are you on August the 23rd? Right? From June. Yeah, okay. And then it's going to get moved out anyway. Because in August they're going to go, who is this person? 15 minutes. No problem. Can I grab you for a cup of coffee first thing? What time do you arrive in the office? I'll come see you then. Have a cup of coffee first thing in the morning, or maybe at lunchtime I could pop in and spend 15 minutes with you. Would that be okay? Excellent. What I'd like to do is just find out what your needs are and see if maybe we have some products and services which could help you. Is that okay? Yeah? You happy, Dean? Yes, excellent. Am I building trust and credibility on the phone? Yes. When I go and see them, I build trust and credibility. I use a warm reference. Should do that on the phone. But in front, you can touch on that and you can go, hey, great, nice to meet you. By the way, how did you know Steve? No, he's an old friend. Oh, no, excellent, blah, blah, blah. I know Steve, and you can connect. How long do you talk about Steve for? No more than a minute. This is not a conversation about Steve. He's going, why are you in my office? What do you want to do? I'm busy. Right? Don't waste their time. Trust and credibility. The biggest way is to ask questions. Okay? Trust and credibility. Actually, the trust and credibility step, you build it every single interaction you have with a customer continually. You never stop building trust and credibility. Ever, ever, ever. Even when they've been a customer for 20 years. Trust and credibility. If people like you, they'll be your friend. If they trust you, they'll buy from you. People like you, they'll be your friend. If they trust you, they'll buy from you. The key thing with the trust with when you're dealing with a government organization is did your check hit their bank account? And has he been able to buy a new swimming pool with it? So if that's it, then he trusts you after the... I'm kidding. Okay.
It's on film. Freud said.
Okay, yeah, you can so edit that bit out. It's cut. So that's okay. It's fine. But there are things. Even then, people are still buying from people. Even when you're with a committee, people buy from people. Take that to your board. It's a good question to discuss. Okay. Sorry. Before people buy from you, they have to buy into you. People buy from. People buy from people. They buy from you. Okay. They're not buying your product, they're not buying your service, they're not buying your company. Yes, that's important. Yes, you have to lead with company. Something we do at Dovetail, we lead with a company at some certain things because we've got huge credibility. But they still have to trust you. Okay? And we've had incidences, I won't name names and things on video or in thing. We've had things where we had huge credibility, but one person played golf with another person and said, oh no, don't buy from those oaks, we had a bad experience. And what was like a 20 million rand deal disappeared over a game of golf with one oak who had should have had zero credibility, but it was a friend of a friend, and that person went back to his board, and then the board went, well, we're not going to do this. Wow. After a whole big sales process. People buy from people. They have to buy into you. You've got to be very, very careful with your reputation. Right? It takes years and years and years to build real trust and a real integrity, and it takes seconds to lose it. Second thing, Peter Drucker. Who knows who Peter Drucker is? A couple of you. One of the world's leading management gurus, made in the 70s, 80s. I mean, Drucker is just phenomenal. One of the top management, well, probably the top management consultant for 2 decades or so.
From the 1940s.
1940s.
50s, then he passed away a few years ago.
Yeah. I mean, Drucker's everywhere. People quote Drucker everywhere. And here's his quote: my greatest strength as a consultant is to be ignorant and ask questions. Second point, what's in it for me? First point was build trust and credibility. Second point, what's in it for me? Okay, so what you need to be doing is asking questions, because your client is asking this question: what's in it for me? Have a look at this face over here. What's in it for me? That's what your client is thinking. Even if they're going, hi, they're inside, they're going, okay. Think about your company PowerPoint presentation. You're going to go and present to a customer. What's the first slide? Okay, there's your logo or something like that. What's the slide after that? Huh? Who's the company? Whose company? Your company. Who has that as their second slide? Put your hands up. You do. Some of you. Well, a lot of you didn't put your hands up. What's your second slide?
We ask, I don't know if it's the right thing, but we ask, how can we help you?
How can we help you? That's what your second slide is. Who else has got a second slide? None of you got second slides? None of you do PowerPoints? Or your brochure or something like that? Okay, so you haven't got a PowerPoint because Steve Jobs says if you know your product, you don't need a PowerPoint. So you walk in without a PowerPoint just because you're too lazy to actually put one together. So I understand that, and you haven't actually got there. So instead of doing that, you go and talk to them, and now they go, sure, nice to meet you. And you go, and they go, so tell me about you. Right? So tell me about you. What do you do? So what do you tell them? Product or all about you? Are they interested? They couldn't give a rat's. What's in it for me? How are you going to solve my problem? Sales is helping people to make a decision to buy something they already want. 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 So their whole decision is, am I going to buy from you or not? Okay, so we've got to build trust and credibility, so we've got to ask questions. So the way to overcome this is to ask. What are we going to ask? Questions. You need to define exactly what they want. Will they tell you what they want to buy? Yes or no? Yes. To some extent. Why do you say to some extent?
Some people hold their cards a bit. They want to see what you got.
Okay. Okay. So I get you. Sometimes they might have a hidden agenda and so on like that. But most of the time, people, they're interested, they want to buy something. They're busy. Who's absolutely not busy here? Just got too much time on their hands. I don't know what to do with their time. Just put your hands up. Raise your hand. Who's too busy here? Put your hands up. And their life is measured in minutes. And It's me. I was chatting to somebody the other day and they said, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I'll measure my time in minutes. I'm going to spend 5 minutes here, 10 minutes. Okay, we're going to do at past. I've got to do, including my evening time. Life is like this. So they're going to tell you. So you just got to find out what they want. What is the biggest mistake, inverted commas, salespeople make is they go, okay, I need to tell you all about me. Okay, the art of conversation, let's go out of sales for a second. The art of conversation is to ask other people about them and get them to tell you about their life. Was it a good conversation? For them it was. Skill with people. I see, I've got my timer here. Skill with people, Les Giblin. He says people are only interested in themselves. So you've got to ask questions. So I would suggest 5 questions. Hi, nice to meet you, Greg, blah, blah, blah. We build a little bit of trust and credibility. We get connected. By the way, you don't have to build credibility by vomiting your company all over them. Okay? That's going to come later. Hopefully not the vomit. So I'm going to talk to Greg and I'm going to go, and Greg's going to, what you got? And he says, well, Greg, before I get into our products and services, I think we've probably got a whole bunch of things. Let me just quickly ask you a couple of things. And obviously we're meeting about something. I'm going to come talking to you about disaster recovery. I'm going to sell you a new cell phone. I've got a telephone management system. I'm selling you construction stuff. So they know why you're here. And I mean, it's not like, okay, so why are you here? I mean, they know that and they know the context. So within this, tell me, Greg, just tell me what are your key problems at the moment? You were saying you had some issues with billing and we're coming to talk to you about billing. What are your key billing issues at the moment? And he's going to go X, Y, Z. 1, 2, 3. He's going to come up with 1, 2, or 3. He's not going to come up with 20. He's going to come up with 1, 2, or 3. And you're going to say, why is that a problem? Pick one. And you can even say to them, what's the biggest one? What's the one which is a real burning issue at the moment? This. Why is it a problem to you? Define the problem. Yeah? Problem solving 101, internally. What's the problem? Define it. Understand it clearly. Come up with a whole bunch of different potential scenarios, come up with a whole bunch of potential different solutions, pick the best solution, solution 1, solution 2, solution 3, implement. That's how you solve problems, yes? Everybody should know that, whether it's in your marriage or in your business. So we're going to ask him, what's the problem? And there might be a few of them. Why is this one? Pick one. Why is it a problem? Okay, now we've defined it. We're still in left brain, we're logical. Why is it a problem? Well, this is happening. We got this. When we bill, this doesn't happen correctly, and we're losing money. Okay, and that's it. So why is it a problem? Why is it important to you? Why is it important to you? Now it's got personal, didn't it? I went out of left brain and I got into a personal thing. Why is it important to you? Greg, why is that important to you? Well, I'm the FD, or, well, I run operations and my budget's been cut this year. And we have to make more margin. And, there's people going to lose jobs and, and he might not tell you the real reason. The real reason is I don't think I'm going to get an increase this year, or I'm going to get fired, or I might get laid off, right? Or the company's going to go under and we might all lose our jobs, or there might be something, or I can't sleep at night. He might tell you that, okay? But why is it important to you? And you can ask other questions around this, right? You can get in, just explain that. Why is that? Okay, how does that affect you? And blah, blah, blah. Ask him. Okay, again, if you just met them the first time, we're not going to start crying together, and you have to be careful of personality types and all that sort of stuff. But why is it important to you? 4th question, and no one does this. No one does this. People stop. What's the problem? Oh, excellent, fantastic. Well, so what you need is you need to buy this widget. And so what we've done with this thing is this is actually made out of the most incredible plastic. We got this polymer from Outer Mongolia. They've got the most amazing scientists in Outer Mongolia. And they developed this thing. And this thing over here we got from Cuba. So Cuba makes the best hard plastic. And he's going, I actually don't care.
This
Right?
is the second stage of my sales deck process, is addressing loss aversion. If you don't make a decision, these are the consequences.
Sure.
Unacceptable negative consequences. Versus, if you make a decision, you go with us,
Right.
then you have a positive outcome.
So what word did he use over and over again? Decision. Sales is helping somebody to make a? Let's try that again. Sales is helping somebody to make a? Decision. What are the consequences of not solving this? Well, if we don't solve this, we're going to continue losing money. So let's...
Also, if there's not consequences of not solving it, it also maybe want to move on.
Sure.
The
Sure, because they're not going to make the decision. Because there's no real consequences. Normally, on their biggest problem, their top 1 or 2 or 3, there are consequences. Right? That's why you're in the room. And they can't solve it themselves. So there normally is this. But what you want to do is you want to get them to start thinking about what the consequences are. Because a lot of times they don't think about this. Right? Stating the obvious is really important in life. Okay? Be deliberate about everything. Internalize it, emotionalize it. Why is that important to you? So if we don't do that, and you're asking the same question again here, right? But you're getting them to emotionalize it. Does it make sense? Remember when dealing Dale Carnegie, everyone knows Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. When dealing with people, remember you are not dealing with creatures of logic, but creatures of emotion. And the emotion is stronger than the logic. So asking those questions, why is it important to you? Even if they don't tell you the real answer, inside they're going, that's going to be like, That makes sense? And they've got this strong emotion. Are they going to trust you more? Yes. Why? Because the other sales oaks aren't asking that. The other sales oaks are just like vomiting all over the table. In asking those questions, do you have a clear picture of what your customer wants? Yes, you do. If you have a clear picture of what your customer wants, do you know what to sell them? Yes. I love this one. Here's technique. All these sales techniques, thousands and thousands of depth charges and all the rest of it, and the one guy, he's just catching all the fish. Why? Because he knows what the fish want to eat. Yep, this makes sense. Clear picture for you. People buy things. People don't buy from you because they understand what you do, which is what 99% of salespeople are trying to force down their customers' throat. People buy from you because you understand what they do. Okay? You understand that you speak their language. You're talking about their problems, not your features and benefits. Here's an exercise for you. If you haven't got a slide on this, here's an exercise for you. Write down get your PowerPoint or whatever, how you present your company, which will all be my company, my company, my company, our features, our benefits, our features, our benefits. Take all of that sort of stuff and rephrase it in your customer's language. What does that do? We've got this thing which calculates your invoice accurately. Okay, good. What does that do for the customer? It means that I get my money on time because I bill accurately. Does that make sense? I totally nailed that presentation. How to nail a presentation. People don't want to buy a 1/4-inch drill, they want to buy a 1/4-inch hole. Most of you have heard me talking about this. People go into a shop and they want to put something on the wall, and so they need to drill a hole in the wall. And so they go in and the salesman sells them this tungsten carbide bit with diamond impregnated, and it can go at 7,000 revs per second and blah, 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 blah. They don't care about that. They want the hole in the wall. Right? It's the same with your product. They're not buying your product. They're trying to buy the problem that it solves from you. Make sense? You get it? So, the difference here, this guy up here he's engaging. He's talking to people about their problem. The secret of successful retailing is to give your customers what they want. Sam Walton. Okay? As opposed to go on the top, my company, my product, this is what we do. And what's your audience doing? They're falling asleep because you're just vomiting your product, your company, your solutions all over them. They don't care. They don't want to know about it. They're bored. What they want to know is if you spend time going through and asking those questions, what are your problems? Why is it important to you? What are the consequences? You understand very clearly what they want. You might have 10 features and benefits of your product, but there's one feature and benefit that they specifically want which solves their problem. Because you can ask them, so if we could solve that problem for you, you'd become a customer, right? We could do business together, yes? And they go, sure, you could do that. That would change our life. When I present, what do I present? That feature and benefit. Do I have to present the other 9? No. In fact, if I present the other 9, what's the problem? Too much. In fact, you can talk yourself into a sale and talk yourself out of a sale. So you show them the 1, 2, or 3 key things. Always say when you do a presentation, the first thing you should do, before you get on your PowerPoint, before you do all your presentation, get a piece of whiteboard paper and you go, Dean, thank you for that. Let's assume you had 2 or 3 meetings before you do your presentation, or at least 1 meeting before your presentation. If you're doing everything in one go, we're going to talk, meet, eat, finish, do everything in 1 hour, sign this thing on the thing, you still do this process, right? But if you like got a needs analysis meeting and then a presentation meeting, then you start the presentation by going, thanks, Dean, we spoke to you, we spoke to your FD, I spoke to blah, 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 and your 3 key problems are, and you write them up on the board, 1, 2, 3. What we're going to do today is we're going to show you how we're going to solve those problems for you. Chase, is that okay for you? Yep. Shumandra, you happy with that? Yes. Excellent. On with the PowerPoint. First slide, your logo, welcome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Second slide, problem number 1. This is how we solve problem number 1. Yes? Have you got their attention? Yes. Slide number 1. Our company, why we've been in business for 56 years and why you should buy from us. Cool. When you go and see a James Bond movie, what's the first thing that comes up on the screen?
Lots of
Action. And somewhere about 5 to 10 minutes in, there's bang, ding, 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 and this, and then the thing, and your heart's going, rock on, this is going to be such a good film. Okay, next scene. Why aren't your presentations like that? When you go and see a Nicholas Sparks movie, The Notebook, and they ease you into it, and there's going to be Kevin Costner, and she's going to be acting against, and you're going, oh, this is going to be so nice. Okay? That's not what you should be doing. You're straight in. No vomit. Okay? ABC, always be closing. Step number 4, always be closing. When do you close? All the time. Hi, Greg, my name's Tony. We've got a mutual friend, Steve Rowlands. He suggested I phone you. Would you be interested are you interested in that? Yes. Have I just closed? Yes. The moment I ask a question and they answer in the positive, did I close? Yes, that's close. Excellent. Greg, listen, can I suggest we get together for 15 minutes just to chat about your needs and see if we can solve your problems? Have I built trust and credibility? Yes. Can I set a 15-minute meeting? Yes. Did I close? Yes. Closing is not getting a signature on a piece of paper. That's just the last close you do. Actually, it's not even the last close you do. It's just the last close of that phase. All the way through, you ask a qualifying question and they say yes. When they nod, it's a close. If they shake their head, they don't. Always be closing. This is a great thing from Coffee is for Closers, which Pete gave us once. Okay, moving on. Last step. The next step is, you say these words. Excellent. Greg, the next step is, I'm going to send you a meeting request for June the 23rd at 9 o'clock. Are you okay with that, Greg? Yes, I just want to check your email, blah, blah, blah. The next step is, I meet with Greg. Excellent, fantastic. It looks like there could be some common ground. Greg, what I'm going to do is meet with the ops director and your financial director and get their needs, and then I'm going to come back and do a presentation. Is that okay? Yes. The next step is, okay, you take them through your sales process. Do not expect them to know your sales process. Ask them what their process is if you're doing a tender or something like that. The next step is, okay, so let's just debunk this. Here are your 5 steps very quickly. Trust and credibility, you build that all the time. What's in it for me? Ask questions, rephrase that in their thing. You're going to present, you're going to demo, you're going to talk through pricing, you're going to build value, you're going to create a value around the solution. Why? How do we know that? Because we ask them. How much is it costing you? What's the problem if we don't do that? You're closing, when? All the way through. The next step is, when do we do that? All the way through. If you do that, you will make a sale time after time after time. Remembering all the key things before. Have you got your USP? Yes. Okay, if you don't have a USP, well, then you're in that risky area where it could be you, it could be the next person, it could be somebody else. Make sense? Happy? Okay. What is selling? You want to be happy, right? Selling is easy. Okay, I want everybody to say this. Selling is easy. Just try this. Selling is easy. I can sell. Did you hear that? I can sell. Let me just do this. Okay, I'm just kidding. All right, it really is easy. It's helping your client to make a decision to buy something you already want from you. You've got to be passionate. You've got to believe in your product. You've got to believe that it's going to make a difference in their life. Okay, and if you do that and you focus on all the stuff I've taught you, your sales will go up hundreds of %. And get away from the traditional rubbish that you've been taught or the way you think people should do it, because you've had bad salesmen sell to you for years. Stop modeling yourself on bad salespeople. That's why they don't sell to you. Does it make sense? Take this technique and do it with every single thing you do, whether it's a short phone call. Listen, just think about a cold call. Do I try to build trust and credibility? Yes. Am I asking them questions? Yes. Greg, do you have a problem with this? Yes. Okay. Am I presenting? Yes, we have a solution for that. Can I come and see you? Yes. Am I closing the sale? Yes, I'm getting the appointment and I'm saying the next step. Yes. Do you understand what it is? Right through to a long, complex sale. Does it make sense? Happy. Thank you very much, Robin.